Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome back to LEGO Space. Today we're doing an update on the rebuild of the Titanic, and I'm right to my point where I'm going to be starting with my mock part of the instructions. I made it to step 139 fairly quickly just because I did save some of these sub-assemblies, like these whole porthole sides, the cranes, the mast, the whole anchor assembly, that whole insert, I saved that, and a couple other little things. Um, but everything went back together pretty good. Just making sure I'm taking a little bit more time on my recoloring, especially down in the where the third anchor sits. I made sure to all that was in black. In the instructions, they use a lot of colors down in there, which are visible even through the sides of where the anchors come through. And you can see on mine, that's all nice and black in there, so you don't see a bunch of crazy colors, which is exactly what I wanted. And if you look straight down in there, everything's nice black pieces down in there. You don't see any crazy colors, so that's good. Even when I built this the first time, I had some grays down in there, and so this time I kind of replaced a lot of that with black parts to really just make that look a lot cleaner down in there. But yeah, guys, other than that, we're to the second half of the whole structure, or the bow structure here, the whole second half. So I'll just kind of show you guys, because I'm gonna get a little ways into this, and then I'll do another update. But basically, this is what if I was working with the bags again, this is what bag 5 would kind of get you. And I'll just kind of show you the difference in the first few steps here. So, going into the first few steps already, you can see there's some differences there because we're hollowing out areas for wheels to sit. Right there, you guys can see where the wheels are going to poke through, and kind of see how that build structure is compared to how this is going to look, or how this originally looked. So we're going to get right into the mock instructions here pretty soon. So I figured I'd do one more update right before I started that part of the build. But yeah, the whole front half of the bow came out really nice. Definitely liked using these colors. I recouped a lot of gray, so all of this that you see that is red, yellow, and blue, I originally used light gray and dark gray parts. So now just in this section, all the parts you see I was able to change out. Those are all parts I got back into my inventory for gray parts, so that's nice. I did start my gray build a little bit earlier than what I needed to in this lower section, but I couldn't really remember offhand just what was visible in certain areas, and I didn't want to mess up and use the brighter colors up too high and then start to see them through there. Even in these front porthole windows here, you guys can see it's just grays, a little bit of tan with the decking in there, but you're not seeing like blues and stuff like that you'd see on the original build, or if you build it per the instructions with the parts given. So now I don't have a bunch of flashy colors through those windows. Of course, made sure my porthole windows were all nice and white still, which I believe the instructions actually have all of these white in the original build. But this one, I had to change out for a white 1x1 in that area because they used a L-shaped 1x3, and some of the white showed through in the anchor area. So that's how picky I am with my colors on this. Just really making sure that whatever I do is not visible, especially in any bleed through in the decking. Added my cover piece there, and I can even kind of go back on the instructions here. So, you know, just from what you can see on the instruction, you guys can see there's some gray parts kind of mixed in with that, plus whatever you can see through the anchor areas. You guys can see that's all nice and black. We subbed out these pieces, these tie-offs, for nice gold-colored ones. Covered up the hole where the mast goes down into the support area with a nice and a matching 1x3 tile. Not 100% sure what this is as far as like what its use is on the ship, but they have you put a gray piece on there. Kind of looking at photos, it appeared that it was painted white too, so we replaced that with a white piece. And these yellow 1x1 bricks with the Technic holes in them, replaced those with black ones. And that's pretty much it for what you can see. I will take a quick second here, and we'll kind of go back into the instructions a little ways. So here you guys can see there. It's neat that they followed the red and green with starboard and port on the ship, just like what they do when you start to build the whole control area there. They utilize that red and green not only with the marker lights, but actually like hidden in the build. But you guys can see, light grays, dark grays, tans, whites. The red and green are right up against where the anchor comes out, so of course you see those. More gray pieces in there, and I just wasn't a fan of you actually being able to see all those. If you study the anchors closely, you would see all those bright colors in there, and I didn't care much for that, so that's why I took some extra time the first time around, and even more time this time around, to really black all that out and make that look just super clean. Real nice clean build. You look down in there, you don't see all that goofy colors and stuff. I understand why Lego does that stuff. One, it's cheaper, and two, it's easier for how do I phrase this? Not non-Lego professionals, but people who aren't familiar with building Lego. It's really easy for people who aren't constantly building Lego sets to see these brightly colored parts and understand a little bit better the visual cues of the instructions and of those parts, where they go. It's really nice that they do that type of stuff, but for someone like me who's really picky about detail and the overall visual of the kit, I want it to be clean, nothing goofy. So other than this go around where we're clearly being goofy with the hidden areas, I'm fine doing that. But that was one thing I was a little too tight on the first time I built this. There's no reason for me to waste all of my gray parts in here, because you're not going to see any of it. So and even I could have used just the normal parts that they give, but I tend to like to save the tan, save the white, save the black parts, because those are colors I use quite readily in certain things. So I kind of want to keep that stuff in my inventory, and stuff that I really don't use that much other than like internal stuff. The yellows, reds, and blues are perfect for this application. I even did the same thing on my on that Saturn V right there. I'll show that off at some point with the sectioned off version of it. I actually tried to use primarily red and blue parts in that build, and but I'll show you guys that at a later date. But yeah, so going pretty good so far. Got a really sharp looking front section of the hull here. It looks really nice. Looks better than it did when I built it the first time, which is what I want. I want to improve on some things I kind of made mistakes on, some things I might have rushed the first go around, and really this time I want to really make it as nice as I possibly can, and push myself to my limits of really checking myself in where parts are. Like I said, I started graying kind of right at the base of where these panels fit into, and I could have brought the gray up, or I could have brought the colors up a lot further, but I wasn't. I didn't want to get too wild, so. So having some fun while still sticking pretty strict to a color code, and just making sure everything that can be seen, whether you have to tilt it a certain way, face a certain way. I want to make sure all those angles are going to be looking pretty good. So there's just an update on that, guys, before I start the mock part of the build, and hope you guys are enjoying this journey so far. I'm thoroughly enjoying rebuilding the ship already. Like I said, I'm enjoying the fact that I can not only get parts back that I need, I can better myself in a couple areas, so definitely enjoying it so far. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and until next time, take care.